Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. Streaming today, live. It's 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. PST. Today's topic, I'm going live today basically. I figured because I made basically a New Year's resolution to always constantly, not constantly, but at least once a week, to always put out a sort of live stream once a week, basically. And so today I'm going to be discussing more about the play-ins that happened today on Tuesday, 4/11 or April 11th, 2023. Um, so as you can see, basically, like the whole topic right now today is going to be mostly about the NBA or more of case just the playoffs, play-ins, basically. And if you looked at my prior video in one of my earlier videos in this channel, I did make a prediction in certain cases of some of the what would most likely be the likely scenarios of the wins, basically. Um, Also, by the way, I am using the software OBS, so I don't know if I will be able to see your chats coming through. But if you do leave chats or comments, please do so. I wish I could see them live, but I don't think I can. I don't have another monitor to see all this stuff. It'd be great if I get another monitor, but in any case, one of those things is basically after this ends, I will see your comments at the end of this, and I will respond to them. I do see my comments and I do respond to them. And of course, if you do like my videos and you like what I'm talking about and some of my rants, please subscribe. And yeah, and more often actually, I would have probably discussed more about the games live for my phone if I had the necessary requirements. But unfortunately, I don't meet the standards for YouTube just yet. But in any case, so if you saw my earlier videos, I made some predictions earlier. I think yesterday or 2 days ago, as far as who would be the winners and or who would be the ones that would win in the play-ins between the seven and eight seven and eight seeds that are playing today. And of course, I think being the fact that we're talking about the playoffs, I did mention the fact is like I would say that the Lakers most likely would beat the Timberwolves. In this case, I thought they're probably one of my sleepers in this case. Where the fact is like they're kind of hot. Granted, this is one of those things where I didn't expect them to go into overtime, but they went into overtime, and of course they did come out with the win, which is sort of unexpected in ways. Now, as I mentioned with the Hawks and Heat, I think people were defining the Heat possibly Miami probably beating the Atlantic Hawks, but my feeling was, of course, in this case, was that Trae Young was going to pretty much take over the game, which he turned out he did. And the Hawks beating the Heat by more than 10, 11 points basically. So that was to be expected. So now the thing is in the situation with these two wins, it's a question of now like what happens with the remaining games, as far as with the cases of the sorry, I'm as I'm talking, like I'm getting messages outside of unrelated to this, like through Signal and Telegram, which I usually use in my case. But one of the things is basically, um, sorry, with sorry, I apologize. It's like it is live, and I like to do things live, basically. So sorry about that. For those that are witnessing this, I really wish this wasn't the case, but it is, unfortunately. So sorry about that. But in any case, one of the things I did mention basically the fact is like the next set of games that are going to be playing tomorrow is going to be the Bulls versus, of course, the what the hell? What's my machine going crazy at this point? Sorry. Basically the Bulls versus the Raptors, and of course the Thunder versus the Pelicans. And I said in most of these two scenarios as well too. I think the Raptors most likely will beat the Bulls in this situation, as well as I mean, granted, with the trades that the Bulls made, they've they've garnered much more attention than they should. I think the Pelicans. I think it's a case of like they should advance and beat the Thunder in this situation. Quite honestly, and the Raptors should beat the Bulls. Now the question is, will the Bulls and Thunder, after losing the game, will they be able to, in this case, beat out the Heat and the Timberwolves? Because of course those two teams get the lower seed at that point, whereas the Lakers take the number two seed and the Hawks get the number two seed, which in this case is Boston as well too. So um, this in this situation with the Lakers coming in and basically basically setting themselves up, beating out the Timberwolves. Granted, I thought Edwards played a really, really good game. I'm not going to say anything about that. I mean, that was it was a little bit of a little bit surprising, to be quite honest. Now with Boston and Atlanta, I look for Boston to beat Atlanta in 5 games for sure. 5 games for sure. Unless some Atlanta does something and comes up with something big, you like I said, looking for Atlanta to beat them out in 5 games. I mean not Atlanta. Yeah, look for Boston to beat out Atlanta in 5 games. Now as far as the Denver Nuggets, of course we got to see who the winner of the next these 2 games are. The Memphis Grizzlies and the Lakers. I think I called this basically before then as well too, with the Lakers winning, that they would go against the Grizzlies, because I'd confused myself with the Morant being on the Timberwolves, but in reality he was with the Grizzlies. And I was thinking about LeBron and AD going against Morant, but in this case that's what's happening. And so I will say this: look for the Lakers to beat out the Grizzlies as well too. They are one of my sleepers, the Lakers, as well as the Clippers. Not the Clippers, sorry, the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. Between the two, I think those are one of the two teams that will probably go into the finals. Do I think the Lakers will make it? It's a possibility, but I think they might tire out by the conference finals, and it might be Golden State that might have fresher legs, and they'll be able to advance at that point. I think this is a time where, with the Golden State Warriors going against the Kings, as I mentioned, even though their team is in sort of a disarray and they haven't come together at this point, I think this playoff run will bring them together, and I think Draymond Green will step up as the team leader, team voice, and get in everyone's face about when it comes to defense, because we've seen that the Golden State Warriors defense sucks comparatively when they're playing away, basically. So I think this is where Draymond Green will step up and come into play. The question is with the Clippers and Suns. Oh, some people's like, oh, if the Suns win, I mean, chances are they're gonna, if they beat out the Clippers, chances are they're gonna beat out then the whomever else advances to the finals. But honestly, I think in this case that's going to be an upset where I'm going to see that I think the Clippers are going to beat the Suns, because the fact is like, I think Kawhi, PG, and I think Westbrook is going to show off and come off big to go off against to go off against Durant and KD, or go off against KD, between the two former members, and just show like who is the actual player, basically who is the actual better player at that point, quite honestly. Because CP3, he's good enough, he's good, but his skills have diminished, as we saw. Still good enough to help him out, as well as Devin Booker for that matter. But like I said, it's one of those things where let's see what happens in this situation with the Heat, as well as with the Wolves, when they go most likely against the Bulls and with the Bulls, of course, and the sorry. Well, what I'm thinking is most likely going to be the Wolves. Of course, this is my opinion. This is based on my analysis of everything that I've seen so far, that basically the Bulls should lose to the Raptors, and of course the Thunder losing out to the Pelicans. So with the Bulls and Thunder losing, I believe what's going to happen at this point is what's going to happen between let's say with the Bulls versus the Heat. I think that one the Heat will win, but they're going to get swept in the first round anyways. With the Thunder versus the Wolves, the Wolves are going to beat out the Thunder no matter what. I think in that situation with the Wolves going against, I think the Wolves might make it a game against the Denver Nuggets. Might be 6 games at most where Denver advances. But in any case, that's what I'm thinking basically at this point. That's what I'm seeing, and I'm foreseeing at this point, honestly. But outside of that, this is a case where, like I said, it's more of a case where like it'd be interesting to see what happens between the Knicks and Cavaliers. I think that's one of the games that everyone's going to be watching, as well as the Clippers and Suns game.